What I want to talk about today is the BSR rankings, or Amazon bestseller rankings, or ABSR, if you like. And there seems to be a little bit of a confusion about them, where they count, do they mean actually anything? Can you do anything about them? Well, first off, no, you can't really do an awful lot about them, other than promote your product or have a good product and let it do its thing. You can't really influence that ranking other than through your keywords, your title, through your... it's all down to sales. If you don't make the sales, you don't make the ranking. If you don't make any sales at all, you won't have any ranking at all. And that's not to say that you could have just one or two sales and make a #1 bestseller. You can, strangely enough, but it depends on the category. It depends on a lot of circumstances. It depends on who else is in that category and if they made any sales that day or the day before. And are you going to make any sales the next day? And it'll balance it out. It'll try to work out what you're up to. It tries to see what your book sold in the past, if it's sold anything, if it hasn't, if it's a new book, if it's in the sales. There's lots of things there's lots of things go into these algorithms that they create. But to be honest with you, there's really not a lot you can do about it. We can just watch and hope that our books go up and up and up in the rankings. And if they reach the top spot, we're not doing so bad, depending on the category. Now, 1,000 BSR in, I don't know, pet food won't be the same as 1,000 BSR in books overall, because books encompasses all books. So if you make it to 1,000 in books, you're not doing so bad. Not bad at all. I've never had a book at 1,000 in books. It's something, I can probably only dream of, but it would be nice one day. But then again, I'm not just talking about getting 1,000 in books. It would have to be books overall in the leading country. Let's say the US. If I sell a book and it reaches 50,000 in the UK, BSR, that same book and only selling that one copy that day, what got me to the 50,000 in the UK, I would have to probably expect that to be something more like 250,000, 200,000 at least, maybe a hell of a lot more in the US. To get that one sale. So it would be ranked way up there. And that's due to the volume of sales, the volume of people doing it. It's the major market. Let me give you an example here. Basically, I've opened 2 pages. I've got one with the UK on, and the book is titled Where the Crawdads Sing. Super popular book. When you think there's 200,000 ratings, and in a book like that, you could expect maybe 1 in 20, maybe 1 in 30 people to review it at most. That's a lot of books. That's a lot of books sold. So that's a millionaire right there, no doubt. But anyway, if we scroll down, and we see here that it's #1 in books. That's an incredible amount of sales. That has to, it might be Amazon, might not be New York Times or something like that, but then the New York Times bestsellers can be bought. And you'll find that happens quite a lot. What they do is the authors, or the companies dealing with the authors, on behalf of the author, they purchase hundreds of thousands of copies from different bookshops all over the country. things like that. And this has been known, they do this kind of thing. They buy their way, some of them, to the top spot. Is it underhand? Well, if everybody's doing it, it's hard to say. But and would you be right in saying, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want to I don't want to come off like they do. But then now you're cutting your nose off to spite your face. You'd just be joining the party and just doing what you have to do to get to the top spot. It just feels wrong. It just seems wrong to be buying your way to the top spot. Is that what you're doing when you're advertising? When you're pushing your book? When you're promoting it in different ways? When you're asking for reviews? Which I don't, by the way. It's a strange one, to be honest with you. But let me get back to this. So what we've got here is we've got number one in books. Like I said, that's just incredible. But we go to the US, and we've still got 208,000 ratings. Now, I must point out that ratings aren't always carried over, no matter which country you live in. I found this out myself. But you don't automatically get shared everywhere. Some do, but now in the US, it's one in every category that it is. Now you can be a number one bestseller in more than one category. And that's a good thing, because people looking through a certain category come across your book, or put in a few keywords to try to find a book in a search, and they've come across your book in, like, for example, here we've got coming-of-age fiction, mothers and children fiction, literary fiction, all books all categories that relate to this book, and that's a good thing too, because it's important that you pick categories relating to your book, because you don't want somebody buying your book about a children's story like this and finding it about mountain climbing or cooking. But it's wrong anyway. Just to get yourself to the top of a category, pick an obscure one. No, that doesn't really make much sense to me at all. I think it's a little wrong. So anyway, number one in the 4 categories that they've chosen. Now the chances are they've chosen 8 or 10 categories, but it's only these first 4 that are showing here. So we don't really know at this point what they've got. We've got this software we can use. We can use Publisher Rocket and all sorts for finding out what other categories they're in, but it's irrelevant for this. Right, now if we go to the bestseller ranking sales calculator, and it's just a simple one, at tckpublishing.com. In the US, they're selling in the number one of all books spot, 25,000 sales a month, and then a daily sales of 1669. I mean, that will tick someone over monthly, never mind daily. So that's about it. Can you do anything with the BSR ratings to help? Can you promote them? No, you can't do anything about it. All you can do is promote your book, push your book, do everything you can to make the sales you need to make, and hopefully you'll be able to watch your book crawl up the ranking. And if it hits the US, even if it makes bestseller anywhere, really, to be honest with you, if it's got that bestseller tag on it, you're going to be expecting a few more sales. But remember, these things change every hour or so. So what could be a bestseller and you'd be in the number one spot right now, an hour or so from now, and it'll be somebody else. You could be 5th in the queue. So these things are constantly changing. But that's part of the fun. It gives us a little bit of an interest as well. So I hope that's helpful in some way. In what way, I've no idea, but I hope it sort of gives you an idea of what ABSRs or Amazon bestseller rankings are, and how they're used